Fiora wide on open.
Wide open indeed. With the Fiora locked in, you can expect that to be thrown over to Azure, who is one of Team Secret's secret weapons. He's intermediately the best player on the team, and sometimes just a stable carry. And the great thing about Team Secret is they have that flexibility. It can be Tatsuri that steps up and carries a game. It can be Azure that steps up and carries a game. Chewy, the insurance policy, safe in that bottom lane, farming, and it's down to the way the game goes as to where they put the emphasis.
All right, well, Riven actually going to be locked in here. I think this is the first time both Fiora and Riven have been allowed into a game so far in Horizon Cup, so curious to see those two powerful champions battle here in this one. But Twisted Fate, I feel like every team has a Twisted Fate player. Not unsurprising pick there from eBRO.
Twisted Fate is really good because he can kind of repair macro mistakes. He's like a Control-Z button on your gameplay. Because if something goes wrong, if you get out-rotated, if you've got 3-4 players suddenly ganking your bottom lane, Twisted Fate's the only character in the game that can reliably respond to that on the opposite side of the map or teleport into the fight himself. You obviously have other global movement and stuff like Pantheon, but they don't have the pure impact that Twisted Fate does.
You know, if you're trying to show up to every party, TJ, Twisted Fate, a good one to bring along there.
Party animal.
Gragas Varus. I mean, if this one, eBRO is definitely, as far as in-game at least, obviously can't speak for their personal lives, but in-game they're definitely showing up to every single festival that sprouts on the Rift.
And we got another party boy here as Akshan joins. Akshan, a little bit more of a late game threat. This will probably be given to Kite because it kind of fits into that Xayah mold I set up for you. I really like the pickup of Nunu here as well. This fits what we expect from eBRO gaming. They're going to have a tanky frontline. They're going to have a late game scaling insurance policy over on Kite. The interesting part of it is, to me, is the adaptation here to the Horizon meta, bringing out the Twisted Fate, bringing out the Riven, characters that are going to give them a little bit more mid-game skirmishing power.
Yeah, definitely like Nunu kind of joining the party train here. Definitely another bro that likes to show up at any single moment. Orianna continuing to get, I would say, a somewhat surprising amount of presence. I thought we'd see a lot more assassins in mid lane, but definitely Orianna seems to be a stable pick of a lot of these teams because people, again, they like to brawl. Lots of 5v5 so far this tournament.
I mean, she's good in the late game. She's especially good in late game team fights. When you have a player like Tatsuri, you want to give him tools to add value. And at range, it's going to be a very safe pick as well into the Twisted Fate, which I think is the big appeal. You can clear a wave without being at risk of getting gold carded and shut down. I do also hit on something else from the Team Secret draft. This is Hamez's Gragas. General Hamez getting his key character. You'll see a lot of his Gragas roaming on the map early, arriving in side lanes and delivering massive explosive casks to set up for ganks. That's going to be key for this team, because it is a lot of their engage. You're looking at the explosive cask, you're looking at the chain of corruption, and now this Jax coming through at the very end to start these fights. And kind of only the Jax is going to be the major ball carrier to get those Tatsuri Orianna balls into the back lines of these team fights.
I'll see Tatsuri does the job on his own as well. Definitely a very competent mid laner here. Last pick is Lulu. So eBRO is definitely bolstering the kind of late game power of Akshan and definitely building into that 5v5 once again. I mean, they have a little bit of a bridge here with the Twisted Fate and the Riven. And Nunu, I guess, can be pretty active if he wants to in the early game.
Yeah.
But it's, again, a lot of leaning on the fact that they just want to fight often anyway.
I really like this eBRO draft. I think this is very good for the way they want to play, which is all the time fight.
Yep.
Because, yeah, Nunu shows up early. People think of him as a late-game tank, and he certainly is that, making him one of the more interesting and powerful junglers in the meta right now. But he also can do a little bit of Lee Sin. He can do a little bit of a scuffed Lee Sin cosplay in the first couple moments of the game and show up in lanes with the snowball, providing stuns and enabling early kills. Particularly look at that mid-jungle duo with Teeks. If they can set up for early gold card-enabled kills, they'll get off to a very scary mid-game, and the second eBRO have a lead, their team fights get easier. And the second their team fights get easier, that's a team you got to watch out for. We could have an upset here on the main stage.
Yeah, it's not something I think we'll see from eBRO, but I think the other Nunu look we got was from Thunder Talk, actually, and they used it as kind of a trio just to zone people out and let the sideliners happen, right? So I think Nunu does give you a lot of value.
Flexible.
Yeah, really flexible. Kind of like a support jungler, right? So kind of adds to a lot of different styles, very reliable as a frontliner, and again, a frequent party goer, which for a lot of these teams here at Horizon Cup, is something they're looking for.
Which one would you invite to the party, Nunu or Willem?
Both. They have to be both.
You are absolutely right, Pastry, and I am sorry for
They
doubting.
bring twice as many drinks. It just makes sense. Bring Gragas along as well, you know? Get a real...
A little too.
That's true. It might be a little too. It is, you know, late... I don't know where we are. I don't know what day it is anymore. I'm not even going to pretend to remember what day it is. It's all fun here.
We do have a very interesting draft over on the Team Secret side as well, though, and I fear that we have somewhat neglected it because while there's this entire philosophy of fight, fight, fight for eBRO, Team Secret have drafted some tools to disengage from that, and I think that's very important to highlight. You have between the Explosive Catch, the Chain of Corruption, and the Orianna Shockwave, and to be fair, the Jax as well, a whole lot of things that could shut down Engage.
All right.
So I want to see them do exactly that.
Excited to see what happens here. Level 1 could get a little frisky. eBRO grouping up here as Teeks has Ghost. But as a reminder, make sure you don't miss out on content that you're already paying for by linking your Prime account with your Wildrift account, where you will receive, a random skin chest thanks to our friends over at Prime Gaming.
I think it comes down a lot to the way that eBRO find these early couple of levels. I'm looking in particular at Teeks and at Azez to get early value.
All right, we'll see what happens early on. Had a little bit of a visit in mid, but that does peter out pretty quickly. As suspected, it is Jack's jungle. No flipping around is going to be kind of the expected roles for those champions.
Trevor hasn't historically been the most aggressive jungler, but I think that works out for Jax, who really does want to farm for a lot of the game. So we probably won't see too much early ganking from him, but that's okay.
Nice little trade there on Az's side. As you said, definitely kind of a hidden carry sometimes for Secret. So eyes on the Fiora, who's an extremely powerful champion. We barely see her get through any drafts. She has won, I think, the one game she got let through in. So definitely eyes on Azza there to be a key piece for Secret in the mid game, especially.
This is a really good matchup for Azur as well. Azur snowball arrives early.
Oh goodness, almost curves around the corner there, but not quite enough. But you can see the pressure that Nunu is able to put on.
I heard the tires squeal on the Nunu snowball as he tried to drift around the corner. And we do have a counter gank here. Trevor also arriving down bottom.
I think Nunu must have visited again.
Yeah.
Because that's a dead Fiora on my screen.
We didn't catch it on camera, but I believe a lot of that came from Arche finding a very risky engage, the sort of thing that gets you killed, judging by how quickly the HP bars went down. But because he took that sacrifice play, it worked out. Here we go. Yeah, deep dive in. He takes the hit. He lands the stun. And that's all we get to see, because there's another dive in the bottom lane.
Gonna have to complete the 50% of the play in our mind's eye, TJ, because Team Secret us trying to apply pressure here to that bottom side. Trevor with a visit. Doesn't quite find it between the two towers, but does at least, make him think about it there in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and it is a little out of character to see Trevor going for those kinds of dives. So Team Secret obviously trying to get a little proactive here. Another gank on its way here.
Once again, the snowball's there. Oh, Riposte wearing off is not a good time. Azardo is going to be chased down there. There's the easy route, and that's the easier kill. Nice one there on the top side for eBRO.
eBRO have watched a Thunder Talk game, and they know that if you put gold in this Riven, it's going to be real scary, putting so many resources to make sure that Azur, who is a fairly favorable matchup, at the very least a survivable matchup with that Fiora, into this top lane Riven. This is very solid. The Fiora normally does very well into Riven, so you're just constantly re-ganking that lane, and if you can get Riven through the first 5 minutes of the game, it doesn't matter that the lane matchup's all right, because the map matchup is terrible against Fiora.
Yeah, and the thing is, you look at the gold, you say, oh, that's pretty nice, like still even despite the 2 kills. Well, Riven has all that lead. It's 1,000 gold up right now in the top side for that Riven in the 1v1. So probably only going to get worse there for Azur in the top lane. We'll have to see how the lane develops, especially since we did highlight Fiora as being such an essential champion.
I do want to talk about the opposite side of this map. Chewy, who is playing one of his best characters, the Varus. This lane matchup is also getting prioritized. We saw Trevor come down here. They didn't get any kills, but Kite missed out on an entire wave, so he's significantly behind in gold. And that feels like the way this game is going to play out at this point. Team Secret losing the top lane, going to be scared of the team fights. This Riven gets very big as this composition comes online for eBRO, but they have the tools to keep those team fights at arm's length. Poke in with the Varus arrows, play an anti-melee composition, as our good friend Excounter would say.
All right, well, I thought that, kind of with that map split, we were going to see a very quick start on the Herald here for eBROs, but instead, just going to take the crab there for EZs and just back off the gas a little bit here. Team Secret are grouping around mid, maybe wanting to contest there. They have TF as well, though, on their side, so Teeks can join a fight very swiftly if one does erupt around the objective. We've kind of flip-flopped the sides of the map we were strong on, as eBROs are now overloading this right-hand side.
Yeah, eBRO trying to repair this Akshan. And I'm not sure how I feel about it, because Akshan is the kind of character, the kind of carry that if they don't have a lead, it's very hard to play. Because you need enough gold to step into the front line and threaten for the resets to get full value out of them. Otherwise, you're just sitting at the back of the fight providing soak, which is not terrible, but it's not the greatest use. Here's a Rift Herald.
Apparently decided that the Herald was worth it in the end, but the fight is on for Secret. Herald goes over to Nunu, but can they get out safely? Justly in the top side is in trouble. Shockwave doesn't quite connect. Nice flash there is going to keep H alive for a little bit longer, but there's the kill that Varus is looking for the whole time, as Secret will trade 1 for that Herald.
And you see the power of this composition from Team Secret in that fight, as it's very difficult to walk up to Chewie. He's just able to spend that fight chilling, throwing out arrows, living his best life, and there's nothing eBRO can do to really access him, and when they try to step forward, Hache goes down. They did get this Rift Herald, though. That's going to charge against the mid-turret and get a little bit more gold onto the other side.
Oh, no, he took aggro. That's a tragedy. Varus just collects the sitter that gifted over under the mid-tower.
Chewie being a bro, though.
Yeah?
Catching the full ult. Little sad for Ezez, but life be like that sometimes. Here's another look at the full team fight. Hama's starting this off around the top side. Chases away Jastly, chases away a lot of the defense. And then as you can see, when the pressure is coming in from Hache, he's zoned back by the Shockwave. Ideally, you want the Shockwave to land, but it's the Shockwave, it's the arrows, it's the presence of the tank frontline that just keeps everything away from Chewie.
Libra is doubling down on their objectives. They already have the Herald. They may have dropped already in mid by the looks of things. So gonna go for this Dragon. We'll be able to get it. That Ocean is theirs, as they do claim that first break off the Rift. But that gold's starting to slip away a little bit. That first little skirmish win kind of feels like it's letting Secret into this mid-game a little bit more than eBROs would have wanted.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good mid-game for Secret. It is so scary for Team Secret, because if they mess up once, if they go into one team fight unprepared, it goes bad. But eBRO are struggling to make that happen, and Kite...
Oh, that's not a spot you want to be in. Tamez, of course, on the signature pick, an easy body slam, and a slap down there from Trevor.
He threw out the grappling hook, but there was nothing in range, and the second you've lost your mobility as an Akshan, you are just dead.
And definitely evident there on the screen.
One of the reasons you see a little bit more priority put towards things like Vayne, who can survive that experiment.
All right, top side once again. It's more action. Oh, it's less action. It's apparently Nunu loving every tower hit in the game.
Medium-sized amount of action. As takes a couple of turret shots. The gold card doesn't get in range, so Tatsuri can just walk through it all.
Now Secret again comes their own, wrapping around mid here. Kite in trouble. Chewie is going to get defended there by the Twist of Fate. Ulti straight in we go. Gold card into the rest of the team, and that's a kill! Gifted on a silver platter for Kite. Very nicely done from eBROs.
More team fighting! eBRO benefit from that Destiny teleport on Teeks. He arrives right within gold card range, and for the first time this game, eBRO get to fight on their own terms. The gold card lands, they have the full damage burst they're looking for, and the only thing Team Secret can do is back away, which they do correctly. They manage to disengage in time, but it shows how scary eBRO are within range.
Needed gold there, so watch this one again. I thought this was a one-way trip here for the Twist of Fate.
Lands the gold card, and there's just nothing to do. Really good target selection as well onto Chewie, making sure that the main source of long-range damage is away.
Oh, we're at it again. Grappling hook over, stun is going to land out of the Twist of Fate. The snowball, good. But Azar gets away, forced to burn the flash, so tower goes down. Harmez is there, and now Nunu's getting in there. Absolute Zero is going to try and reduce their health fast to just that as Harmez in trouble. Red card's not the one, but it's not going to matter. Oh, Fiora knocked over the wild growth. Did Azar give a second away? He sacrificed his own life for the support.
Justly, that's so good! The wild growth timing manages to interrupt the re-engage. And Azar's gone. eBRO have managed to string together a couple of plays. The tempo advantage they earned in the mid lane immediately converted. They spend that in-store currency down in the bottom lane, get a very good deal on a turret, and everything's going well for them.
And And the map not even as open as it could be. It's just the one tower still for eBRO. It is really nice what Secret have been doing to keep their map advantage.
So now Rift Herald 2. If eBRO want to keep this kind of train rolling, they need to fight and win for this Rift Herald. This is a good opportunity for them to get those close range 5v5s that they want. They just need to make sure that Team Secret can't disengage, as they have done previously. Keep them at arm's length with the Jax, with the Varus.
Little mini snowball there as the shadows were popped as well, but eBRO can't get in. It is going to be the Herald over. Destiny a little late. Another Shockwave's going to find one. In the front line they go, diving in for the river, but now a literal 1v5 on the hands. It is going to have the broken wings over the wall. Does get out, but not without sacrificing the jungler.
And eBRO are unfortunately a little too slow to make that play. It takes some time to get everybody in position. The Rift Herald's already gone and Team Secret are ready for the aggression. They separate the initial engage, and there's no way for Team Secret's backline to fall under those circumstances.
So again, despite all of the good that eBRO have been doing in a lot of these skirmishes, it is the gold lead starting to grow even further with that Rift Herald as well. Should be even more damage done. It feels like the Fiora and the Jax are getting scary. It feels like Secret are starting to put a throttle on the map they're not letting go of.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to cruise control more than anything. They want to make sure we don't go too fast. As long as eBRO don't get within range to do any big combos with the Riven, with the Nunu, then there's no way Team Secret lose this game at this pace.
But Chewy throws the ulti straight in. Nice little disengage. Shockwave's nice. And the re-engage is there for Secret. Can't find a kill just yet. Wonderful cast out of Hermes, though. And Azar's going to grab the kill as a result. Now Teek's in the front line. Going to get queued to death by everybody. Hermes again. Rocket belts in. Gets the body slam. And now it's trouble in paradise there as Riven's going to fall and Orianna snags the double.
Hermes fears nothing. He just goes ham. Manages to get so deep behind the turret and convert the kill. And here comes the Rift Herald. This might be the game, Pastry.
Yeah, I can see why this guy is known for the Gragas, because that's some real nice work there out of the support player on Secret. Super minions now going to spawn through the mid lane. The game isn't over yet, but it kind of feels like it, as you are going to watch the Axe replay here.
Man, what a combo. Chewy landing the Chains of Corruption to deny the initial engage. And Team Secret realized, well, hang on, we've got a combo here. Focus in on SS, force the wild growth, then shift focus immediately to the AD carry because he's no longer protected by the threat of that wild growth. You burn down the damage now, there's no reason not to get in range. And so Hermes takes advantage.
Yeah, Polymorph a little late there from Jastly. Just couldn't stop the Rampage and Gragas flashing into your backline. And Secret now very far ahead here in this game. What, 8,000 or so? They've got supers forever now in the mid lane. They've got so much pressure over this map, and eBROs know they have to walk over to this side of the map and try and get something happening as Trevor, the jungler, is going to straight 1v1 kill the top laner, and now it could be more here. Is this just going in? 2v3? Doesn't matter. 2v4, 3v4 with Shu reinforced by Hermes from downtown, just skates on in, and now Jastly kicked back there by the cast, gets absolute carnage.
He's on three!
Finds a triple kill, and Fiora, not even here, not needed.
He's on 3, and I thought for a moment that Trevor was going to look for more, but having spent his entire kit, he doesn't risk the close range of a Kiche. And this should be game, as Team Secret managed to control eBRO across 12 dominant minutes.
Looking good here. Tatsuri just zoning them out of their own Nexus, as Secret are going to guide the minion wave up here in top. Fiora is busy running interference on the bottom side, but it doesn't matter right now as Trevor's going absolutely off. Might matter a bit more as the snowball's rolling down through, but it is grasping at straws. It feels like they're actually not going to find it. Easy's again in trouble. Absolute zero pop. Hermes tanks it straight in the face. And there's the kill, this time for Tatsuri.
And you just get stuck in glue if you try to dive this team. There's no way to access Chewy. He just sits there with a giant field of slime in front of him, like on an old game show. And everyone who tries to run at him just gets stuck in it. And it's either the Shockwave or the Chain of Corruption or the Jax. Trevor just standing there and receiving this pressure. Here's what we didn't see. Hache stepped into this. Hache chose to take this 1v1. And he didn't reckon on what late game Jax does to your forehead.
And then Hermes again, another wonderful play here on the Gragas. Just rocket belts straight into the team.
What a cast.
And another great cast as well. If you don't miss, it turns out very, very proficient on this champion. It's the game. You've said it twice now, TJ. I believe you. It just hasn't happened
All right,
yet.
this time, it should be game.
It's not that they aren't winning. It's just that they haven't exploded the Nexus yet.
Well, I mean, it's the opposite side of this team composition the Team Secret are running. It's really dangerous for them to go for game and push.
Oh, goodness. That was a nice shockwave. Finds 2. Flash is burnt. But no follow-up there from Secret.
It's scary to get within range. So it's always, and you see this whenever you see a Varus Orianna composition. These are the kinds of characters that want the other team to walk into their spells, into their range, and they're worse at chasing.
Into maybe this, when they start the Baron, and he's going to get zoned out. Baron is now finished. And Hermes is fancy himself another go. Ruckle bounce in. Tatsuri, oh, just straight QWs the Lulu. Hermes with an amazing flash body slam to find two more. A double kill for Fiora and TJ this time. The game is over.
I don't believe it. Third time's the charm. As eBRO are finally pushed back behind their necks as a team Secret will clean things up.
Some nice moments